How's it going, spooky people? Tonight I'm going to make my video of movies I like to watch during the Halloween season. I wanted to get this out sooner. Unfortunately, things happen. Today is October 30th. So, tomorrow is All Hallows Eve. Halloween, or Samhain, depending on how you look at it. Tomorrow I'm going to be releasing two videos. One was the one I had planned on releasing last week, which is animals associated with Halloween, at least the modern animals. And I may go into a couple others. And then I'm going to do a video of Halloween itself and its origins. But let's get to the video. I have these in no particular order. But I will start with these three here, which are the oldest. Now, I love vintage movies, always have. Whether it's Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, and I said Boris's name wrong. For the Halloween movies, Lon Chaney Jr., all of those, or vintage Christmas movies. I've always liked vintage movies. I love the black and white movies. So here I have three movies, well, three sets. Now, this Blu-ray is a single copy of Creature from the Black Lagoon. Really great movie. It is one of the Halloween classics. Now, I'll go into that here in a minute with these two. So, these are just the two that I grabbed. They are collections that you can find this time of year around so get them at Walmart, I think Target, Amazon, that kind of thing. So I've actually got three. I just didn't bother getting the other one out. So this is the Frankenstein Legacy Collection. I know it's reversed. This comes with 8 movies. You have Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, The Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. I really love Abbott and Costello, and I'm so happy they included this in here. In this one, the Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein, the original big three monsters, which are the original big three actors for the monsters: Boris Karloff for Dracula. Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi for Dracula, and Lon Chaney Jr. for the Wolfman. All come back for their roles in Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein, and it is a hilarious movie. The Frankenstein that is in this is nothing like the novel. So if you have read the novel, do not look at this the same way. But it is really good, and I highly recommend anyone who likes black and white movies or old horror movies to watch these. I mean, they're not scary, but they're great. There are some, they do have some repeats. This is the Legacy Collection of Dracula. This one comes with the Bela Lugosi the original Dracula, the 1931 version. It's got Dracula's daughter, Son of Dracula, and House of Dracula in it. So these are really good. Not all the Draculas have Lauren Chaney in it, or not Bela Lugosi in it. And as a matter of fact, I think Son of Dracula actually has Lauren Chaney Jr. in it as Dracula. Speaking of older Dracula movies, any of the Hammer film Draculas with Christopher Lee, I highly recommend those. They are really good. But these legacy collections you can get, and they contain, if I remember right, there is the Dracula, the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and those are the three that I have. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, I just have the single copy on Blu-ray. It doesn't contain the extra movies. The Invisible Man, and The Mummy. So these are all really good. Watch over just overlook the background music. But I highly recommend these to anyone who likes old movies, especially this time of year. Okay. Now we're going to get into probably my favorite Halloween movie. I absolutely love it. Trick or Treat. This is the one of, hands down, by far my favorite. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details. I highly recommend it. Anyone has not watched this, definitely watch this. This is a great movie. It's got comedy in it. I would say it's not a horror film for me, but it takes a lot to scare me from a movie. Since I was little, I've not really watched a movie that's actually scared me. Another one. This is the second one. I've got 1 and 2. The first one is a whole lot better. Rob Zombie's version of Halloween, and then the original Halloween. The first one, the first movie. This part 2 I didn't care much for on Rob Zombie's version either, but the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie I loved. Going on with that, about all of Rob Zombie's movies. His horror movies are really good. House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, of course, the Halloween, 3 from Hell. The only one that was I didn't care much for was Lords of Salem, but that was me. Another one. This is a remake. It's the remake of The Wolfman. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I did. Anthony Hopkins is in it. He's a great actor. But it is a really good, in my opinion, a good movie. You can't go with it as a remake. You can't look at it as the same as the original. But it's really good, at least to me. This is not the best movie of the series by far that I'm getting ready to show you. I highly recommend any of the Hannibal Lecter. This is Hannibal Rising. It was the least, I liked it the least. But Silence of the Lamb and Hannibal itself, I highly recommend. Great movies, especially if you like serial killers. And the show's pretty good too. Okay. So this one is a 3-part that I got, but it's Stephen King. Another one of my all-time favorite Halloween movies is Silver Bullet. Love that movie. It is, of course, a werewolf movie. Of course, Pet Sematary, and if you like Stephen King, you like Stephen King. They're really good movies. Anything by him that's in the horror genre is really good. I like the books a lot better, but so does everyone else. If you have not ever watched this series, the first one, anything beyond the first one, I wouldn't recommend. They get really weird. I wasn't able to find the part 1 copy that I have, but it's The Howling. This is Howling 2. Your Sister's a Werewolf, but the first one, The Howling, is really good. And to go along with that, I also have that copy of American Werewolf in London. I highly recommend that one as well, if you've not seen it. The Howling and American Werewolf in London are extremely popular for their transformation scenes. The special effects on that before computer animation is just amazing, especially American Werewolf in London. The movie's just great. Anyway, and then it's got stickers all over it. A series that I would highly recommend and is not all that heard of: Ginger Snaps. This is Ginger Snaps 2. The Curse is Back. So this movie is about sisters. I think Ginger is the redhead and the other one is I think her name's Bridget. But Ginger plays a large part in the movies. But I highly recommend this. It's not the typical werewolf movies. There's 3 of them. There's Ginger Snaps 2, Unleashed, it looks like, and the third one is Ginger Snaps The Beginning. That one's kind of odd. Doesn't really go along with the other 2, but it's got the 2 sisters in it, and it's still really good. I liked it. A lot of people didn't. So the last movie that I'm actually going to be able to show, and this is the one that I would recommend as far as Dracula movies. If you're not into the vintage thing, if you don't like the Hammer Draculas, or you don't like the black and white Dracula movie, the one that you really need to see, in my opinion, if you like horror movies and you've not seen it, is Bram Stoker's Dracula, made by Francis Ford Coppola. It has Gary Oldman as Dracula. Gary Oldman's a great actor. He plays Dracula. I mean, Keanu Reeves, a young Keanu Reeves at that, reprises or takes on the role of Jonathan Harker. Anthony Hopkins plays Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Again, Anthony Hopkins is probably one of my favorite actors, and he does an excellent job as Van Helsing. This goes closer to the novel than a lot of other ones, although it does throw a few extra things in there, which is alright. I mean, I get that you can't follow the novel completely, but really good. I highly recommend this one. There's another one that I really enjoyed, another Dracula movie called Dracula 2000. It stars Gerard Butler as Dracula. It's not the typical Dracula movie, but I would recommend that one. As far as mostly on a horror film, with the exception of the vintage movies, most of mine are more of an adult with the Draculas. Let's see, another set is The Evil Dead. the first one and somewhat of the remake. Those were really good movies. Let's see. Anthony Hopkins played a priest in one called The Rite. If you've not seen that one, I would recommend that. It's not scary, but it's still good. As far as the kids' movies go, I would recommend Hocus Pocus, of course, because everybody loves Hocus Pocus. Halloween Towns, I remember watching that as a kid and enjoying it. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, I would highly recommend that one. I tend to watch that every Halloween. I like Peanuts. So there's a lot of really good movies out there. The modern horror movies, I'm not that big of a fan of. I'm not that big of a fan of things like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or Chucky. Although I have watched them, and some of those are pretty good. They're just not my thing. The Halloween, I like the first Halloween on both the original and the Rob Zombie. The original was better. But Rob Zombie's version I liked. Now, the second one, I wouldn't. But anyway. Trying to think, there was another. Let's see. There's a lot of really good movies. Day of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead. The George Romero movies. I would recommend those. Those are pretty good. If you like zombies. Everybody likes The Walking Dead. Though that's, in my opinion, not necessarily a zombie movie. It falls more along the line of the people more than it does the zombies. Which, I mean, it is what it is. It is a show. But there's a lot of good Halloween movies, a lot of good horror movies that are out there. If you like, say, you like vampire movies, depending upon your taste, if you like the lovey-dovey vampires, there are those out there. I've never been a fan of them. Twilight's never been my thing. Same with werewolves. My favorite werewolves movies are, with the exception of the old ones, would be The Howling and American Werewolf in London. There is a good one that had starred Christina Ricci that I thoroughly enjoyed. That was called Cursed. I've got a copy of that somewhere. But yeah, there's a lot of good movies. So this is a bit of a rambling video, much like the book video was. So with that being said, it's the night before Halloween. Tomorrow is Halloween. The first of the year, or the first of the month, is Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. If you enjoy the holiday as much as I do, sit down, watch some movies, with your family, with your friends, whatever, and just make a good time of it. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video if you can, if you wouldn't mind. I would like to reach a wider audience. And subscribe if you haven't already. Now, again, tomorrow I'm doing two videos. Uh, and everything should be good. Starting next week, maybe Sunday, I may make a video Sunday. I'm not for sure. I have thought about it. Depends on what I'm doing and how things go. But I will get back to the science part of the channel. I'm also thinking awful seriously about doing maybe doing some history. Maybe not hardcore history and not a whole lot of it, but I do have some artifacts and things. So not only do I collect fossils, I collect artifacts. A large part of those are European, Roman, Celtic, medieval artifacts. I don't have a whole lot of them. I have more Roman artifacts than I do any of the others so far. But yeah, I am thinking awful serious about adding a little bit of history and a little bit of, I guess you'd say, archaeology to it, as well as to go along with the paleontology and the natural history. I know that's adding a lot on my plate, but my interests vary. I have a wide, large covering of interest. I am thinking about doing a Christmas version of this. In particular, going into some of the a video or two going into the origins of the holidays around December 25th, from Yule and Saturnalia, which are the original Christmas, pre-Christmas, or pre-Christian holidays that were on that time of year. And I will also be going over a couple renditions of. I'm going to make a video on Santa Claus that's going to contain things like the versions of Santa Claus, how he came about. So, hope you all have a great evening. Stay spooky, scare people, just in a safe way. And you all have a great night.